Hello and welcome to Nerdarchy. For nerds, by nerds, I'm Nerdarchy Dave. Today I'm joined by these fine nerds. Unfortunately, we are down Robin, who plays Mara, but we still have Carlos, Brian, and Steven in the house, and you probably are familiar with Ted and myself. There are links in the description you can go check out. With that, let's throw it to our GM, Carlos. How are
What
you
is
tonight?
good, what is good, everyone? My name is Carlos Rivera. I run the Volcanic Night YouTube channel, and in certain things in life, some things are just guaranteed: death, taxes, and that feeling you get in your stomach when you eat some bad Taco Bell. Well, nothing could have prepared me for what happened last week. Nothing short of a crystal ball, and yeah. With all of that, I am going to roll here to figure out who will start us off. I know we talked about this before, but Ted, you're gonna recap us, and we did roll a torment, so we'll get to that in them later.
Oh, sweet. All right. So we ended not last session, but the previous session with us fleeing a planet, and the last thing we heard was I think they're alive or they're still alive or something along those lines. So we wake up apparently 100 years in the future. Grimm, the Institute for mysterious materials, apparently
It's
wiped
Galactic
off
Research
the
Institute for
that
Mysterious Materials.
that's it. Dave's better than I am. Has apparently not been around for 100 years, so more than 100 years in the future. We got some weird people on our ship. Lots of stuff going on, and I'll throw it to whoever wants it.
Sure, I'll take it. So, we met some new friends because they invaded our ship and tried to scavenge it. Uh, we met Nova, the Manchine kid, kind of a kindred spirit to myself, and as well as Jax is a human old guy. I don't know. They're a legion of two now because apparently they ran into some troubles coming onto our ship. But anyway, I'm playing Lawson, as I mentioned, the Machine. With that, speaking of troubles coming onto our ship, I'm going to throw it to Brian.
Well, one thing that we didn't realize while we were out for 100 plus years was that a rolling footlocker that we had with us that we had trapped somebody inside of busted loose, and something's completely wrong with them because I believe the people that we met, Jax and Nova, described them being some sort of strange abomination somewhere else on the ship that we're not familiar with. But Buckaroo, the tread wheeling robot space piratey clown character, broke off from everybody else along with Mara to try and go through a direction which is the most direct route to get out, but all the other flesh bags just couldn't breathe the air. So we were just like, we're moving on. So, Steven?
So we were split up, and Skyler used their ability True North to try to determine the way to go. So that resulted in Skyler and Flask separating from everyone else because they couldn't breathe the air anyway. And we went into a vent, which was like kind of claustrophobic. And we learned that Flask is like kind of struggling now that Grimm is gone because, you know, when you're in corporate life, sometimes it consumes your life and identity, which is like not the healthiest thing in the world, right? But like also like we're learning and we're doing the new things. And so we ended up coming out and seeing the robed I don't know what you call these guys. They're like they call them the Grimm, right? Like Jax and Nova call them the Grimm. But he's this dude. He has his eyes are blue, his veins are pink, his skin is ashy, like it's a whole thing, I guess. And he's a cultist, I guess. So we're not super fond of that. And that's where we opened up, I do think, right? Like that's where we left off last time.
Yes,
Indeed.
but we're also fearing Dark Buckaroo.
Yeah. Oh, and we
Really
fought
is.
Toto's because Dorothy turned against us, which was like really sad, but not unpredictable.
As Lefty would say, corporate show. But yeah, the Juggalo version of Buckaroo was, I think, my favorite quote of the last game.
Yes.
Um, so yeah, so last time, since we were all pretty separated and whatnot, I had everybody roll off to see who we can start off first. I'm gonna be polite and start in the reverse order this time around. All right. So keeping in the front will be Flask and we're gonna start off with Flask and Skyler. And then we'll go towards Jax, Nova, and Lefty, and then we'll cap it off with Buckaroo and Mara. All right. So leaving off to where we were, you guys see this figure, and he mentions that I wonder what we can make of you.
That's a great question. Here's a counter question for your consideration. How are you still alive? I think we jumped like 100 years. And also, what was that thing that came out of you last time?
As you ask all of your questions, he kind of more or less ignores you, almost like he wasn't directly speaking to you all. But he is going to retort, yes, I think they will make interesting subjects for experimentation.
So at this, Flask is kind of like looking at him like, what kind of experiments are you talking about?
He turned towards you, Flask, then towards Skylar and says, have you ever wanted to be more than just who you are?
No, I'm pretty good with who I am. Thanks. Can I notice a way out of here? Like in the immediate vicinity outside of where we came in?
The door. So there's the door right there behind him. And almost like, so like if you guys are trapped like in a rectangular room, you guys are on one side of the rectangular room, he's on the other side of the rectangular room, and the door is to the left-hand side of this gentleman person.
Uh-huh.
Um as like, I guess you're looking for a way out, he more or less walks over to one of the bio beds in the area and takes off a covering to reveal Leah. Leah Sita, I don't know if you guys recall, retrieving her corpse from the cave. And you notice it's as if she's reanimated, twitching, turning,
Oh, don't like that. Don't like
kind
that.
of looking around.
That's not possible. She was dead.
With the six, anything is possible.
With what?
The six.
I'm confused.
Can I like subtly like nudge Flask and try to gesture for him to like follow me as we like very subtly make our way toward the door, like backing, like just acting like we're orienting and interested, but actually like backing towards the door that we need to get through.
All right.
Well,
So I
cool.
I do a Robin's Bonobo roll, and the the conversation, the scientist in me either doesn't acknowledge or doesn't understand the stimuli of your trying to get me to move on.
Oh,
Sorry.
Oh no.
I kind of see it. I kind of see like Skyler nudging Flask. He's like, wait 1 minute, I gotta figure something
No,
out.
I wouldn't even think that Flask would like have the wherewithal to acknowledge like there's a conversation happening here, and from a scientific standpoint, like Flask is still understands that there's danger here, but there's information here. So he wants the information. If the other person like decides to start moving forward, Flask will have to react. But as if we're staying at the same distance, Flask is willing to have this conversation.
He raises his hand and notices that you're holding the container with one of the mushrooms. To prepare yourself properly, ingest what you have. As he
What
points toward the
what is
mushroom.
what is the six?
The six are the blessed. The flesh, blood, heart, brain, and stomach. You in the spine. You understand, like, there's so much to be learned from them. One doesn't experience sun rays just by visualizing. You must be bathed in it in order to fully grasp it. And if you wish to be blessed, you can assist.
As a interesting analogy, but I am trying to ascertain, are the six, are they people? Are they divinity? Where I come from, we don't much look to gods.
He moves over to one of the trays. Effectively, he has moved from one side of the room to where the door is at to the opposite side of the room, in reach of a something off the shelf as he pulls down the jar, a very familiar jar that that was used to capture one thing. And as you notice, it's worm like, very visceral and whatnot. It's almost kind of like has multiple legs, one gnarly face, and it's like, oh, this right here is one of the six. To know it is to know true bliss.
So all I need to do is greet it to know it, or is there something else involved?
You would need to have it implanted.
Oh. No, that's not something I'm specifically interested. Would it be symbiotic, or is it more of a controlling force? How much of me remains me?
We all give ourselves to the six. As he's opening the jar, yeah, do you do anything as he makes his motion?
So at this point in time, Skyler, what is it that you're doing? Are you finding another way out? What are you doing while we're getting deeper and deeper into danger?
So while they're having their conversation, Skylar is having like using their cybernetics, like just kind of flicks the glasses down and he sends a distress message to everybody else, to just like tell them, hey, there's something really bad in this place, like giving the place wherever we're at, because I'm not sure where we're at on the ship right now, actually. And then when he starts opening that jar, Skylar's gonna probably make a big bad decision and fire a nanoblast at it.
So as you guys are receiving this message, so let's do one thing at a time. So yeah, like the distrusting note, Buckaroo will receive it, post, yanking himself out of the system as Mara is, entering the codes to lift the blast door. And Lefty would receive it right before he's done unplugging himself from the system. Like it's one of the things he's received right before all of that. Right.
So was there another way out of this room, or is it like, are we dead-ended in from the vent?
Oh no, so there was a door.
Is it
So
behind him, to the side of him?
yeah, so the door is literally behind. So it was behind him previously when you guys first entered the room. Throughout the conversation, what happened was he started making his way towards the bed area to show you Leah, and then when you inquired, "Hey, what's the six?" he got really excited and moved even further down to the shelf area to pick up stuff. So if anyone
when
was
he
to just
goes,
bolt it,
yeah. So I'm gonna bolt.
okay. So are you still firing off your nano blast?
Yeah, I think I am, because they're gonna have to come through here anyway, right?
Fire away. What's your target?
The jar.
Okay, roll
Like
me
the creature in the jar specifically, but the jar, right? So this is either gonna be really good or really bad. I don't know what. Probably really bad. That is 19. So what am I rolling? Is it president?
Just
Presidents,
yeah.
presidents. I don't know what I'm doing. So that's 24 to hit.
Yeah, well, I mean, you just need at least so in Vast Grimm, the standard number is going to be a 12. Unless I say otherwise,
And so
all you need is a 12.
A D4, because that's a D4 damage. Here's my Nerdarchy D4. These dice like me. 2.
So as you fire off at this glass, he almost like instinctually like grasps even for harder. It hits Aaron's hand, burns a bit, and the glass does shatter. Instinctually, it looks like he's protecting it with all of his might, and then says, "Unworthy," as he puts the worm inside of Leah.
Of course.
And with that, that's what I'm assuming you guys are gonna bolt it.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Alrighty. Moving down the list, we are gonna transfer ourselves to Lefty and Jax and Nova. So can you please describe the situation for me? That we last left off with you.
So we had gone into the engineering room, and you had confirmed that Dorothy's core was actually located here.
Mhm.
So I had jacked in like I normally would to see what was going on. Realized Dorothy has gone apeshit crazy and needed to be dealt with. So then I resorted to less technical methods of getting rid of Dorothy. And I believe I was putting my power claw to use smashing her processors and core.
That's right. And I believe it was 6 points of damage, if memory serves correctly.
Yes.
Alrighty. So.
Oh, that's right. I did have one favor, and I did spend it. I spent it to max the damage.
Okay, well, we'll just figure things out later. But what happens is like so after you uh attack Dorothy's
Uh-huh.
core, um immediately what happens is the room that you're in goes completely red, and you know this to be a total lockdown of the area. um and what's going to happen is gas is leaking into this room. uh you have roughly 7 rounds to find a way out before area becomes uninhabitable to human life.
Okay, so what all is in this room?
So in the engineering section, you can definitely find tools. You will definitely find other computers. You may find different crawl spaces used to get into other areas, you know that for sure. And you also might find a med kit somewhere, perhaps, just to treat burns that may happen up in engineering, you know.
Is there a panel to the control panel to the door?
Yeah, let's say there is a control panel to the door. What happens is like it's used whenever there's possibly like malfunctions, you know.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. That there's probably something for a manual override, in case there's something. Hey kid, come here. Let's put that claw of yours to use, and we're gonna try and peel away the control panel to try and get at the inside.
Uh, I guess. So she switches her arm into like a blade again. Um, so what am I doing?
We need to open this up. You cut, I'll pinch.
Okay. She turns to Jax real fast to see like, that's okay. Jax just kind of gives a nod and she's trusting you with this.
Okay.
So she, as Nova inserts her blade into the panel.
Yeah, as soon as she starts like making like kind of a break in it, then I want to try and work my claw into it and try and like peel it back.
Okay. Can you give me a DR14 presence test? A strength test.
All right. That is a 12 on the die with my newly improved 3 strength as a 15.
15. Good job. All right. So you're able to like get deep into the side panel and crack it open, almost like a walnut.
So then we want to start like just trying to like make the hole big enough so that we can see in there and see if we can find like a manual override.
Okay. Um, so there's no getting around the fact that you're gonna be going to inside the board. No matter how you slice this dice or this cake, everyone in that area is gonna take some damage. You and Nova receive 3 points of damage.
Okay.
Um, Nova kind of like with her arms and you know, is like in pain. Not that she's not used to these things, but not with so much shit happening. And what happens is like Jack say, "Hey, it's okay, just take your time." And while he's done saying that, you hear over the comms, "Lefty, you weren't supposed to do any of that, as throughout the same vents that gas is coming out of, two total bots are coming out. And for a moment, we're gonna drop off there and move over to Buckaroo and Mara. And all I can say to that is you kicked the hornet's nest in.
Buckaroo just kind of spins, like the tread stands still, but he spins 360 degrees as getting the message from Skyler about the distress call, trying to lock in on my Legionnaire's coordinates and trying to use the Find My Legion function of the built-in app to try and track where they are and roll and be like, Mara, we must get to them since they sent out to distress.
If I know Mara at all, they'll say, what nonsense did they get themselves into this time? I guess we do gotta help them out, I guess. Did they say where they were?
They did not, but I was hoping perhaps since we're in close proximity, I would have known which direction they were going, considering we were going straight through. They said they were going that way. They said they were going that way.
Mara face palms at the sight of like it's just like Skyler to send an SOS, not tell us where to go.
I did
All
tell
right.
you where to go.
Skyler, where are you?
I did tell you where to go. That was part of the message.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just
okay,
didn't
over
know
there.
what part of the ship we were in because of like I didn't get a clear description.
Gotcha. Yep.
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, like in a different universe, that's what happens. But in this universe, Mara will say instead, you know what? It's fine. I haven't been able to fire off some rounds or do anything for a minute, so yeah, let's make some fireworks. Lead the way, Buck.
And start wheeling that way
And
as fast as I can, trailing Skylar's large rolling cart behind me, attached to my back.
And while you're doing that, treading along with all the supplies and whatnot, you guys make a turn that would lead you into the most direct route to reach the most direct route to reach over the Skyler Flask. And in this corridor, you see a bright red glow at the end. You're taken aback for a quick second because as you can very viscerally hear that it's the sound of treads coming toward you, but you're more or less confused, if not intrigued, because you know you're the only one to make this noise, as the image of you comes out of the shadows and says, you will not be going anywhere.
Mara, you will save me. I grab my nose. My nose is I can honk my nose to disrupt all batteries in a room for D4 rounds. And it's going to cause a recharge after those 4 rounds, but that will at least put it in Mara's hands to be able to do something. So honk, and it disrupts all batteries in that room.
Okay. It's perfectly fine. As this can I say EMP?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, as this EMP goes out, the image of yourself, while not gone, kind of crackles a bit, almost like it's not a physical image itself. It's kind of like a projected hologram, if you will.
Is that the last thing I see before I power down for 4 rounds?
Yes, let's do that. I don't know what how I know what regret feels like, but I don't know how robots experience regrets. Explain this to me.
To feel it is to feel human.
I think that's the deepest thing that'll be said on stream all day today.
Waste
Um,
fuck.
okay, so I'm going at this point in time, I'm gonna quickly transition over to Flask and Skyler really fast. And as you guys are going down this corridor, you're starting to notice that there are more of these things walking around. These zombie-like creatures. Now, you can easily tell that they're going towards the bio bay, almost like they're reacting to some sort of signal being transported upon them. I'm gonna quickly transition over to Buckaroo real fast as this is happening. Though the image of this diabolical clown is out here and whatnot, even though it's still kind of like choppy, it almost looks like it's pointing, and as that happens, several Totobots come down and descend upon. I am going to have everybody roll me initiative.
Were the Totobots in the room when I did the EMP?
No, sorry, I didn't even put 1 and 2 together, man. But what I will say is, out of those D4 rounds throughout this entire place, I'll be nice and say 2 rounds passed. Okay.
Oh, sure.
Also, Steven, can you please roll me a D6?
I just did for a 3. You want me to roll another one for initiative then, or is this just that?
Yeah. So you got a 3 for D6.
Yeah.
Okay, great. No, that's just letting me know our enemies first or back or you guys. 1 through 3 is enemies, and then 4 through 6 is good guys.
Okay, gotcha. And so then I roll another D6 for my initiative, right?
D20.
D20. Okay, gotcha. And that's plus my agility.
Yep.
That is not gonna help me a ton. That is a 10.
I hope that's not what you guys are rolling this entire time so far. Like, oh no, D6. I'm rolling my garbage. So 10. Blast got a 12. Buckaroo, what do you get? 13.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And Lefty, what do you get for your initiative?
Well, I rolled a 17, so I have a 15.
Right. All right. And then just wrote these 2 dice right here. Alrighty. So I am going to run combat and several different time zones at the same exact time. Let's see how this goes, okay? Alrighty. So starting off, Jax is gonna fire off a round at one of the total bots, giving Lefty and Nova cover. As he fires off into this round, a piece of the total bot gets blown off, but it's still coming towards him. That same total bot is actually gonna fire right back at Jax, and as almost like just desserts was happening to total bots fire a few rounds into Jax's shoulder, as blood's trickling down his arm. Lefty, you're next in this initiative.
All right. I think I need to keep working on getting this door opened. Because if I don't, we're gonna die.
That is what would happen.
So what do you need me to do in order to make progress?
So you can use a presence test to kind of like hack your way through.
All right. Well,
the DR for this is just a 12.
Well, when I add my presence to the one I rolled, that would give me a 2. My new acquired 1 presence.
Okay.
So what happens, Carlos?
You're just going to take.
Are we allowed to use our favors to give somebody else a reroll?
If you're in the same room, yes.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm not, so can't help you, Dave.
Fine.
Sorry. We're all dead.
No.
No, just us.
But you are going to receive 2 points of damage.
You're going to give
almost
Ted 2 points of damage for offering up his favor? That's mean.
No. You're going to take the points of damage.
That was sly, Dave. Well done.
So do we get to use our like armor or anything for this stuff?
For receiving, I would say if you're receiving almost like external damage, aka if bullets are flying your way, fire, any sort of missile sort of projection, what's happening with you particularly is you in your brain and your electronics are in the same space. And what's happening is you're getting hacked back with every failed attempt.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So physical armor wouldn't protect you from this.
Yeah, I wasn't entirely sure if I was like getting shocked or what was going on. Yeah, that's fine.
No. Well, damage is only a D2, so. Anyway, so going down that list, it looks like Flask is next in the initiative order. As you're going down this corridor, you see multiple zombies coming down this way.
How many is multiple?
Multiple would be the rest of their crew. So I'm going to say 4.
4. Is there any kind of like barrier or, something that like I can kind of wedge like and move like so that they're harder to get to me as I continue to move forward?
There is a piece of debris on the floor that has kind of like fallen off from the disruption of the ship. It's nothing that's like a blockade worthy thing, but it is the sheet of metal, you know what I mean, that may provide some protection if you had to use it.
All right. Would that be like my action to pick it up, or
I'll count that as an interact, so 3.
All right. So I will pick that up, and like I will try to like charge forward and see if like I can like use that to push past them.
Love that. I'm kind of gonna count that as like movement plus ramming. Yeah. So like give me a strength test, please.
That's what I figured you were gonna say. What am I looking for here?
Bare minimum 12.
All right. Well, I'm gonna use that aforementioned favor since I couldn't give it to Dave to re-roll my 6 because that's not gonna get me there. Come on, dude. You got this. All right, there you go. 17.
Nice. So, can you please also roll me a d6 for some damage?
I can roll a d6.
You could not too. It's
That would
fine.
be that would be a 3 on the die.
Alrighty, so you're gonna deliver 3 points of damage to the zombie that's kind of like furthest up in the group, as you know, they're getting pushed back as well. As you make contact, things are kind of slowing down as you dredge your way forward. But that is what's happening there. Buckaroo,
Knocked out.
yep. For how many rounds again?
Since you said 2 had already passed, this one and another one.
Okay, so that happens. How do you how do you experience being turned off in this?
I mean, I figure like I just kind of slumped. My everything's just kind of powered down, but I'm still in the same spot. So yeah, I mean, anything could easily attack me, or they may just think I'm a piece of metal that's got no power. I don't know.
That's a possibility as well. With that, I am going to move this over to Skyler. As you see, Flask ramming his way, almost like battering ram style, his way through this corridor. How do you respond in kind?
I have a question.
Sure.
Does Dorothy have a self-destruct sequence?
One that she can initiate.
Can I try to force it? I'm a technomaniac, but before my ability was that I could like interface with ships and stuff. I'm not sure if that's a thing I can still do or if that's like a different ability from True North and they're just like not something that you do both of.
So, you may, what I'm gonna say with 100% certainty, it's gonna be super, super, super hard to do so. I will let you do it if that's what you want to spend your turn on, but if you fail, bad things will happen.
Okay.
You're integrating yourself one with a hostile AI.
Right.
So that's that's a risk that Skylar would know while attempting this. So I'm making sure you know the risk as well.
So I, as a player, don't want Skylar to do this, actually, given the risks. But my misspent youth is rebellious and reckless, and my irritating idiosyncrasy has never backed down. So I'm going to go for it.
All right.
And we're just going to, like, have at it.
I would need a 22 presence.
Okay. Okay, so I rolled a 14 plus 5 is 19, but I want to spend a favor to make it a success. Can I do that? Is that a thing you do?
You can.
I'm going to do that.
Nicely done.
Alrighty. So, as you interact with this AI, right, and you're trying to see if it would self-destruct, it activates and it will go off in D2 round in 1D4 rounds.
Okay. So I need to roll that, right?
No, I already rolled it.
Okay, what is it?
2.
2. Fantastic. Do I think we can get off the ship in 2 rounds?
Some people might.
Oh Lord. Is there a way to extend that number?
You would need to rehack it.
I will try to do that next time. Because I presume I don't get to do it in this round as well.
Unfortunately not.
Okay.
Okay. With that, we are going to move on over to Nova in her turn. She asks Lefty, should I stay here or help Jax?
So right now, is it a matter of me kind of cyberjacking into this thing, or to get the door open, or is it a manual thing?
It's kind of like a so you already know that there's not a manual release. It's more like a cyberjack at this point forward.
Okay. In that case, do you Nova, do you have a way to interface?
Not really, no. I mean,
Then get your little ass over there and help Jax. What are you doing?
as she comes out swinging, literally just swiping her way.
And when I do that,
out.
I'll give her like a wink, as I continue to battle Dorothy.
Oh god. So she's gonna swing with all the encouragement you gave her, but unfortunately she didn't miss. But she's swinging for Hail Marys at it. With that's gonna be one of the turns for the total bots inside that room as it fires off a few rounds at Nova. Nova will also be struck as she tries to defend herself with the whatever sheet of metal has. She does get shot up a little bit as well, as she is also bleeding. Next down the order, we're gonna go down to Mara, where I assume at this point she is lugging. She is definitely lugging Buckaroo this entire time, saying fuck, 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 as she's hauling for dear life. She takes one of her projectiles and fires off into one of the total bots, and that's gonna be a hit. Okay, good stuff. So as she fires off, it actually destroys one of the total bots following you guys, but you're not completely out of the woodworks yet, because this holographic projection of Buckaroo is coming down the hallway as well. And with that, we are gonna take it back to Jax, where he's kind of like, don't you dare, and tries to grasp at one of the total bots to like slam it down, almost like revenge for hurting Nova, and he's gonna literally just take one of these things and smash it on the floor like that one total bot is destroyed as well. And with that, Lefty, it's gonna be your turn.
Okay, so I continue my virtual warfare upon Dorothy. Oh, this is not going great. That's a 9. We're getting closer. You said I got like 7 rounds. I feel good about this.
Okay.
Except we've got 2.
So
do the rest of us know that though?
No.
So I got like 5 rounds left.
Yeah, we're good.
You're going to receive a singular point of damage for that as a counter hack on you. With that as well, Flask, you're gonna take up. It is your initiative as you're pushing down these zombies. What do you do? Flask?
Oh, I'm sorry. I you're saying Flask, and I'm like, all right, waiting patiently for my turn.
Man, that Flask guy better hurry up. I'm trying to go, Ted says.
So I've pushed these zombies back a little bit. I don't have an idea that the ship is about to explode. But I am trying to get past them. Do I have an idea of where I am on the ship and where, like, the noxious, I can't go here, area is versus where I can go to be safe?
So this corridor would lead to a different juncture, closer to the mess hall.
Okay.
And you know from knowledge of the ship that the mess hall is nearby the hangar.
Okay. Uh, well then, can I, have I made it so that I can move past the zombies, or are they still blocking my way?
It would require another push if that's what you're
All
gonna
right.
do.
All right, then I would like to keep pushing.
Right. Strength test.
Oh, that's gonna be a no. That's a 4.
So these zombies almost like stop you in your tracks. It could be the fact that they're getting their bearings, and they push back towards you. So you're going to be stopped in your tracks right then and there. Happens.
Oh yeah.
Buckaroo, it's gonna be your turn.
This is the second round of me sleeping it off.
Alrighty, you'll be up and
The
running.
last round.
Yeah, the last round.
Yep. And Skyler.
Okay, real quick, Dave, the overlay. Oh, you got it fixed. It just fixed. Never mind. So I am trying to now deal with the nonsense. So dealing with said nonsense. I'm gonna try to extend the number to like 20 because I feel like that's a safe number. I don't think it's gonna get to 20, but I want to extend it as much as I can, basically.
You would need to rehack.
Okay.
It's going to require another 22 presence tests or
Okay.
favors, whichever way you went to make it get there. Makes no difference to me.
Let's see. Well, I have a favor if I need it. I'm gonna spend my last favor.
Already. Let's make it succeed.
So yeah, it succeeds.
Now you extended it up to a D6. I'm gonna roll it.
Okay.
5 turns.
Hey, okay, I'm going to message everybody and tell them how long we have till the ship blows up.
That message.
And then I'm just keeping up with Flask.
That message is sent and received by everybody. We have a quick moment for a very fast interlude. I don't think it might get deposited to kind of like voicemail message to Buckaroo.
That's fair.
Flask, what's your reaction in hearing this?
Shit.
Lefty, your reaction?
Oh, balls.
Mara, I could imagine they would say like
A string of expletives.
and at the very end of those expletives, like, of course it'll be this way. Of all the ways. I just get my freedom and now this happens. Perfect. That's what I imagine.
Skyler follows up with like 12 heart emojis and sorry.
That's what I figure. That's how Mara's reaction would be. With that, we're gonna move over to Nova's turn in this initiative as she goes for another stab at the total bots that Jax have injured, and she'll stab it through and it gets cut up a bit. At this moment in time, the total bots are not active in the same exact room that you're in, Lefty. In fact, what happens is like Nova and Jax kind of like are kind of catching their breath from exhilarating themselves while still breathing in this toxic air. But with the destruction of the total bots, you do notice that it does get easier to hack your way through, almost like the total bots themselves are providing extra security. And with that, we're going to transition over to Mara as she fires around into what do we call this? Juggalo Buckaroo, or what do we call this, Brian? You tell me.
I mean, it was like the dark Buckaroo, but we did call it. I think was it Steven that called it the or somebody called it? Maybe I called it. I don't.
It was definitely you.
Okay, yeah, the Juggalo version of Buckaroo.
Like,
Yep.
Juggalo. But Dark Buck, whatever you guys want to call him. Point is, she's firing rounds off into this fellow, and although she's firing off into this image, some of the bullets actually catch a little bit and slows it down, but almost like Dorothy has been practicing. It does no damage, of course, but what happens is like almost like Dorothy has been practicing with solid holograms. With that, we're gonna bring it over to Jax, and he's not gonna be able to be too much, except for like, come on, buddy, you gotta do this, man. As he calls over to Lefty, and it will be your turn once again.
All right.
You would need, with the destruction of the total boss, you would need a 10 to have to. Well, I mean, each total bot would add 2 difficulty.
Yeah.
2 to 14.
That's fine. No, I'm just laughing because my rolls thus far, that really was not a factor.
It wasn't, but.
Yep. Yeah, we're halfway there. If anyone's got any ideas, I'm open to them. Dorothy's being a real pain in my ass more than usual.
Can we blast a hole somewhere? Like, with that, we're gonna transition over to Flask. Well, Flask is AFK, so we're gonna transfer over to Buck, and then we'll get to Flask when Flask gets back.
What is going on, Mara? Why are you dragging me? Where are we?
About time.
And what do I see?
You see this dark version of you chasing you as you access your voicemail, mailbox, whatever, and you now get relayed the information that the time frame for the destruction of the ship.
Mara, I hope you are heading in the direction of the exit.
Oh, you know it. Like, you know it.
I will just be wheeling my way to get there faster, so Mara does not have to be carrying me.
Yeah. So Mara was carrying the suitcase and the footlocker with you as well. So they're kind of like, great, here, take this back.
Yep. I keep it. I reattach it to my waist in the back, and I'm trailing it like a wagon like before.
Alrighty, good stuff. Could you please give me a agility test? Excuse me.
Yes. 20 total. Dirty 20.
Nice. So what happens is maybe it's the fear of Dark Buckaroo, maybe it's the fear of non-existence that really motivates you, but you and Mara make your way over to the location that Skyler had indicated you should definitely meet up, as you're seeing all of this funkiness happen.
As I'm ditching the dark Buckaroo, I turn my head and go, "Adios, turd nugget."
Nice. Love it. With that, Flask, it's gonna be your turn. I kind of had to flip initiative real quick.
Sure. Yeah, I apologize. You know,
No, you're fine.
Mother Nature, you know, made a call and I couldn't not answer. So
Send me the voicemail.
so I'm going to yet again try to push past these guys and see what happens.
All right. Year 12. Strength.
Yeah, I'm going to use my last favor because that's a 2 on the die. Oh, that one fell off the table.
You can make it favor can make it an automatic success. You wouldn't just have to re-roll.
Oh, okay. Well, then I will.
That's what Steven's been doing this whole time. Just like, I win.
Sure.
I win.
I'm sorry. I thought it was a reroll. All right,
no,
so
it
I
does
will.
a bunch of cool things. Deal max damage, re-roll a die, neutralize a crit somebody, lower the DR test by 4, or deal extra damage.
Cool. All right. Well, then I choose to succeed and move on.
Alrighty. So as you push away past like the zombies, kind of like smack their head against the wall and like fumble over. You have movement to get past them, so
Oh yeah.
no worries there. And with that, Skyler, it's going to be your turn.
Okay. I'm literally just trying to keep up with Flask at this point. Do I know that Dave's engaged with Dorothy? Or do I know that Lefty's engaged with Dorothy?
Unfortunately, you're not omniscient, so no.
Okay. So I can't help there. I'm just gonna send another message that says, "Get the ever-living fuck out of here."
Alrighty. That message goes out, and as this message goes out, you hear familiar beeps like a message received noise coming from right behind you. As you know, it is Mara and Buckaroo zipping their way on by.
Great. Where's Lefty? And the 2 stowaways? You're muted, Buckaroo.
They're probably still in the air conditioning vents.
Oh no. Oh no. What happened?
Don't know. Isn't that how they were traveling?
We were in the vents. They
Oh.
came through the gas, I think. Or no, they didn't come through the gas. You guys came through the gas.
Lefty doesn't fit in the vents because he's made of mining equipment and biological parts.
Sorry, I had to reboot, and I'm mixing up who went where.
That's okay.
Nice save.
We just need to everybody get out of here now.
We're gonna transition to Nova's turn as she using whatever clothing she can to kind of cover her mouth and make her way by. And she asked Lefty, like, isn't there like an exit latch anywhere?
I'm afraid not, kid. The only way through this door is overriding Dorothy.
As like he almost doesn't know what to do as she just kind of like wails on the control panel that's housing the Dorothy AI, screaming, "Let me go, you piece of junk!"
Oh, great idea, kid. Pull out that saw of yours and cut her apart.
As she's just trying as hard as she might, cutting her way past that. Most of everyone else seems to be out of initiative order for the most part. Jax is going to, if we're going to swing back to the top of the round, Jax is just going to kind of like move over to you, Lefty, and say like, buddy, come on, man, there has to be something.
Let me give it one last try.
It would be your initiative up next after him.
Okay. Well, that's a 10 on the die. So oh, wait a minute. No, that's an 8. That's a 19. There are
Alrighty.
numbers above 10 on this die.
All right. Good stuff. So, almost like self-preservation for life. You're like, not this time, Dorothy, as you able to hack through your way through and breathe the freshest breath of air.
So the fumes that were
you
coming.
thought you had.
What are the fumes that were coming through? What was she releasing into the vents?
Toxic gas. Toxic gas that would be it's more like just chemicals of the ship of like byproduct of waste. But obviously to humans and any sort of organic life, they'll be toxic. Does that answer your question?
It does.
Great stuff. So what do you do with being free at this moment?
Well, go into the hall, breathe a deep deep lungful of air. Oh, wait a minute. They said the ship's going to self-destruct, didn't they? We should probably hightail it out of here. You said you got a ship that needs a pilot, huh?
Buddy, yes we do. And the ship's gonna what?
I got
Yo, kid, get over here.
I got good news for you. I'm a much better pilot than I am a hacker.
Yeah. So, as he yells off to Nova, almost like picking up a cat by the length of their necks, kind of like, let's go. Not wasting any time on this kid and her BS, just yanking her out there. As you three are making your way towards the bay.
So,
what
Jax,
happened? What, buddy?
Does that ship of yours have weapons?
Yes.
I'm gonna blow the fuck out of this rust bucket.
So as you guys are making way down this hallway, you guys meet up with the rest of your legionnaires and all of this so as Mara kind of like says to you, Lefty, it took you enough time, hasn't it?
That's not my job on the ship. You know that. I just fly this. I fly and I mine. That's it.
Sure, we gotta get the hell out of here. As you guys make their way towards the hangar bay, and you're flipping on. Yeah, actually, why don't you describe to me how you pilot us out of here, Lefty?
All right. So once we break free, you kind of like bank off away from the ship, and then I want to take it straight up, and then arc back down towards the Kansas, begin my corkscrew, and then let loose with all the weapons on the ship.
As you fire off with these weapons, you know, while you're making your corkscrew maneuver, firing down to all goodness, you can very easily determine these are weapons. These are the worst weapons that you can install on a ship. Not only are these the worst weapons, they look like of garbage quality, almost like they were in dire need of maintenance for years, but it's just been completely neglected. As you're firing off towards the Kansas, and you notice like it's not doing as much damage as you may want, but in true fashion, regardless, the Kansas does explode.
That was close. And now hopefully those things are gone.
Poor Dorothy. I'm glad I have a backup of her on my jump drive.
Why would
What?
you save her?
That was just a joke.
Fucking
Oh.
clowns. Why did it have to be clowns?
As you all catch your breath for what feels like one chaotic notion to the next. The hum of the ship rings out just for straight silence, almost like this is the most quiet you have received in a while, just to catch a brief moment to yourselves. And you hear over the comms, "You're still alive?" I can't believe it. Wow. Don't worry, Jax. I keep my promises. And I promise to pay you back tenfold. So, you keep on living your life as much and best you can, but you just don't scram from the colony with any repercussions. I'll get you in your group, don't you worry. Signing out, buddy. Take care until then.
Jax? Jax? Who was that?
That's one of the craziest dudes out there. Can I get a moment before we get into this one? Oh, Lord. Every day is just a fight for survival.
Sure. While you're thinking about that, turn to a lot of everybody else. What do we do now? We don't really know what this world is if we've been out of the loop for a century or more.
And as almost like feeling like one of the adults, Nova chimes in. Why don't we go to the gate? And Jax kind of looks over like, what's with you and these fairy tales? I'm sorry. You're right. I mean, hell, anything's better than that, I guess.
What's the gate?
Well, I mean, Jack doesn't like him when I talk about it too much, but I guess I should know when to speak up. But the gate is said to be a different place, a different land, not like this. One where the worms don't exist.
Are the worms those things that the pink-veined, blue-eyed monster was trying to embed in everyone else?
Sounds like what a Grimm would do, yeah.
Can we back up with worms and embed?
Oh, so you remember our former colleagues who we recovered from the planet
Yeah, the stiffs.
brought back. They have a way to infect the living and dead with these worm-like creatures that puppet them, I think.
One had, referred to them as the Six. and that one of the jars that he was collecting had one of these worms in it. Quite revoltingly offered it to me. And at that point in time, I certainly had to decline.
Were there only 6 of them on the ship? You will have to excuse me. I was asleep for part of that.
So have would I have deduced anything based on the conversation, Carlos?
Um, not just deduced from the conversation, just from having a front row view of it. How having a front row view multiple times, not just not just in the Kansas, but also on the planet as well. Uh, and being a biochemist, you would know that worms generally are parasites. They would infect their host, and depending on what
Well, I just mean in deference to the question that Bucko said, like there's only 6. So like clearly we've seen more than 6. Um, so would I be able to deduce that there are 6 types?
you'll be able to definitely tell
Or
there are 6 types of worms.
right.
Real
So,
quick, while you're
I don't
figuring
think
this out, uh, Lefty does have one snarky thing to say. I'm surprised you didn't take them up on that puppeting thing. You love to be a corporate shill.
I don't feel that they were really the corporate experiments that I was interested in. So perhaps a new lot on life to figure out from here. But no, I don't think there are only 6 of them. I think it's possible that there are 6 types, though it's only speculation. I feel we've encountered more than 6 creatures, on our vessel that had these things on them. So it's a bit unnerving.
Perhaps for you.
I don't know how the worms interact with uh, computers or whether they would just kind of ignore you. But yes, much more concerning for me.
So,
Yeah.
as all that's happening, sorry to chime in, but like,
No?
Lefty, as you're kind of like navigating your way through the system to plot a course somewhere, anywhere, you're noticing from the star chart that these stars you have never seen before. You have never seen these stars particularly. Locations may be the same, but the stars are literally different altogether. Almost like you're in a space where things are the same, but not the same.
So I'll
Space
relay,
is unfamiliar space.
I'll relay that information. Hey, the kid was talking about a gate to somewhere else. What if we're from somewhere else?
Maybe.
I mean, this. All right. I don't know. Hey, Flask. Since you're giving up on your dreams of being a corporate show, um, maybe an egghead like you could help us with this. Perhaps there's some. I don't know. Are there like alternate dimensions or galaxies that are the same but not the same? Do science stuff.
Would I have any way to try and figure that aspect out?
You're definitely a scientist per se, and
I think our technomaniac is smarter than I am, but
in regards of technology, sure. And in regards to I mean, as a real scientist, not just like a data scientist or you know, computer engineer, you would have the most merits. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Having to have like serious schooling in regards of like
Sure.
biological makeup and whatnot, just to put one thing together and another thing together and combine them so they don't die. That's complicated.
So I can, look out the window, pull up whatever, I don't know. Like, clearly we've got some time to try and figure some stuff out. So can I take some time and see if I can put two and two together and see what I can come up with?
Absolutely.
Is this a roll or is this just a time thing?
With the assistance of Skyler and putting you guys together at work in regards of like combining what you know and conveying to her like, hey, look, I need XYZ type device to figure this particular thing out. You guys will be able to deduce that there is strong merit that there's strong merit to say that you guys have traveled through. And though you guys may not be exactly space scientists or whatnot, being of spacefaring folk, you do know that a singularity is a black hole. Nothing has ever gone through a black hole and survive and tell the tale, but no one knows what happens on the opposite end of it.
So
This could
looking
be
at all
the gate.
so looking at all of that, after probably I imagine a couple hours, Skylar and Flask would kind of come back. It's like, well, nothing is concrete. We do know that at least the natives here had heard of the Galactic Research Institute. So it's possible that it existed in both dimensions, planes, whatever terminology you want to use. We might have been the first to successfully traverse a black hole, a singularity, if you will, and come out on the other side. But any data that we might have been able to collect in regards to that, and he just kind of looks, backwards, in the direction we're coming, would have been on our old ship to know for sure. But situations are as they are. It matters not where we're from and where we are. All that matters is that we're here now, and that apparently this world is currently shit. So we have to figure out what we're going to do. Hopefully, we can rely on one another to keep us all moving forward.
So what you're saying is, in this place, wherever we are, we got worms that want to infect us. I think you and Buckaroo, you and Mara, I think are okay. We got these Grimm things. I guess that's after a worm gets you, like a zombie or something. But on the plus side, Mara, you and I, we're free. Finally, no more Grimm corpse to tell us what to do. No more Dorothy tabulating what we owe. No more snooping, prying Totobots following us around. The only thing I'll miss is killing Totobots. But we're free. We may die in this universe, wherever it is, but we're going to die free.
You think you could replace killing Totobots with killing zombies? Would that give you the same degree of pleasure?
I don't really have any personal beef with them, to be honest with you. But we got a certain skill set that me and Mara have been working on by killing Totobots. Maybe we can put it to use here. So there's an upside for us. it seems like all downside for you guys. I'm sorry, but I know how much you like being a corporate
So
shill there, Doc. But maybe you can find
it's not so much.
studying.
It's not so much that I liked being a corporate shill. I enjoyed the science, and they just happened to be the outlet.
Wait a minute. Let's take a consensus. Who here thinks the doctor here also enjoyed being a corporate shill? Show of hands. So I'm gonna speak for Mara, and she's gonna also raise her hand.
Cool. I believe that will happen. As you guys are conversing this entire way, anyone who dabbles off for a quick second can see that Nova is like definitely pulling on Jax's arm, like they're from the other side. There's a way out of here.
Nah, kid, we ain't going back there. Not gonna happen.
Jax
Going
chimes
back-
up.
Sorry, go ahead.
Jax chimes up to left Flask, saying like, are you guys really from another place? Or are you bullshitting me?
It's possible. Like I said, I would need any data that might have been collected from the old ship, the one that's been blown up now multiple times.
The one floating around all this debris. The ship that my ship is currently flying through in multiple areas, I see. That ship.
No, the chances of any kind of data core surviving an explosion like that is not likely. But if your ship has any kind of scanners to scan through the debris, perhaps. But I would not count on it.
I kind of look around at the ship, and judging by the weapon system that I've just experienced, you might want to get a flashlight and a magnifying glass there, Doc.
Like I said, I'm not keen on trying to pour through the data. If anything, and Flask would kind of like pull out his his satchel or whatever it is that he's got, and he pulls out the jar that's got a mushroom in it, and the Grimm, as they called it, said that there's something about the samples that I had collected that might be useful. So nothing that I have brought back from that dread planet should be consumed, but perhaps if I examine these things, perhaps I could find an answer. Perhaps I can find some way to combat these worms.
That's another thing. This gauntlet that I have full of nanobots that's kind of evolving and maybe a part of me now, I'm not sure. It was clearly alien. Like, I wasn't able to find anything on any planet in our world about it. But whenever we faced off against that Grimm cultist for the first time, I tried to heal him because I thought he was sick. And I caused that worm to come out of him. Like, the nanobots pulled it out. So maybe there's some tech around here that might be able to help us too.
Buddy, you have nano?
Yeah, that's what this is.
I wouldn't go around advertising it here. Nano's hunted for. You think gold currency credits are valuable? Nothing more valuable than nano here.
Why is that?
It's a valuable resource. Sure, with credit, you can buy what you want. Nano, you can make what you want. Believe me.
Skylar doesn't have the ability to just make what she wants. It's just certain things that they can do.
Well,
While they're having that
seem like-
conversation, I want to pull up the star charts and I want to look for the location that we were in the other place, that planet.
yes, not a problem at all. So, you were at. So, as you open up the star chart to find the planets that you were previously, K12 116b is on the opposite side of the solar system where you are. If you use the star chart that you have currently kind of coordinate yourself where you are, you're in the area called the waste barges of Kalar.
Was that is that any kind of like lingo that we were used to, or was it something entirely different from where we were?
It would be a bit of lingo that you're not used to, while planet names would remain the same. It's almost like this is an area of space claimed, if you will, if that makes sense. It's kind of like,
I was just gonna say I do have a question about this being like different but familiar. Is it like different but familiar enough that like say 100 years passed and things just would gradually change, or is 100 years not even close enough time to kind of make the familiar parts unfamiliar?
there's no way 100 years would change,
Okay, so we did not
anything
time
that
travel.
drastically. Well, you technically did. Time travel ain't shifted, but who's keeping track here? So with that star chart area, that is where you would kind of like figure out where you are in relation to the world.
And how long of a journey would that be?
Using the ship's information banks to kind of calculate that. It's gonna take a bit to calculate if you're picking up what I'm putting down.
Gotcha.
But you will have an answer at some point.
So real quick, I just want to do, since I'm like kind of interfacing with the ship, I just want to take a quick inventory of like you said things. There's definitely things that need repairing. Hasn't been maintenance. I guess we have a technomancer, so Skylar, I will start being like, hey, you can definitely check this stuff out. If there's a laboratory on this ship, I will point the doctor in that direction. I don't know what to do with Buckaroo.
While Lefty may be used to luxurious ships, it's just this section in one other room.
Oh,
This is a tiny vessel. This is kind of like both rooms are used for multiple purposes type deals. Like
basically the Twister. We're on the Twister.
I mean, the Twister was just one little shuttle pod per se. It would be as if you were on two Twisters at once,
It could be worse. All right. Well, in that case, I would just be like, hey, Skylar, here's some things that you could probably use your attention. Maybe Buckaroo can help you with them, or paint them bright colors. At any rate, and Jax, where do we resupply? Because I will also look and see like the fuel cells for the ship and ammunition. I imagine that stuff's probably not great. So we need to, we don't have a corporation that owns us anymore, but we also don't have anyone paying for what we do anymore. So we need to figure out how to make some scratch.
That's what me and my Legion try to do.
Yeah, well, let's not do it the way your Legion did. Are we a
Yeah.
Legion now?
I guess so.
What was your Legion called before?
Well, buddy, there's many things that we called ourselves and whatnot, but we exiled folks. We just called ourselves Infinite Black. You know?
I mean, I kind of like that name, but after what happened to your last Legion, I'm not sure it'd be a great idea to keep that.
Man, look, there's been nothing but darkness around here, so we do what we can to try to get by.
All right, well, Legion. Well, we're a Legion now, guys. I never imagined that, but it's way better than being a corporate show. What do you guys want to call ourselves?
Interesting.
Well,
Obviously, we need to find, as you said, a source of currency or payment, jobs. Do we have any leads on such things? I'll kind of point towards Jax.
Well, I mean, it's kind of dangerous. We could hit Bart's stash.
What does
So when you
that?
say hit, do you mean just go there, or are you saying like we rob the place?
We're gonna have to ride them. We're gonna have to rob them blind.
Oh,
It's the closest thing that I mean, I was trying to avoid casualties, but by just going out salvaging, but guess there's danger in everything you do these days. As you guys are getting acclimated to the situation that you guys are in a previous situation where you had the world at your fingertips, whether it was just quickly picking up a job or paying for resources at the nearest stop. You're beginning to realize the luxuries afforded to you before are not as they are now. Knowing that the world, the universe maybe, be even against you. With that thought in this Legion's mind, that is where I will end the session for tonight.
Excellent. Thank you.
Nice.
I have a suggestion for our Legion name:
oh,
Black Hole Surfers, since we move through black holes.
that's so much better than flying monkeys. That's what I was going to suggest.
Buddy, that's better than Infinite Black. God damn, man. I like it.
I like black
Why
hole.
didn't we think about that?
Black
That's
hole
an interesting name.
Nice. And if we ever get an away shelter for our ships that's not much bigger than an away shuttle, we'll have to call it the Pepper. I like
Pepper. Okay. So as a reminder for those viewing out there, we're going to be off next week as some people are traveling to Gen Con and what have you. So
Yes.
we got a 2-week hiatus, but we'll certainly be back with some more vast Grimm fun and some crazy shenanigans next time.
So with that, until next time, stay nerdy.
Stay
Stay
nerdy.
Stay nerdy.